back to MoMo on the Move. Today's special guest, we have my girl Mo, the other Mo in my life, Monique Flores. She is the founder of Mija Fitness. Hey. She has brought me along to help her along her journey, training these awesome females to become stronger and more confident. And I just thought I need to put her on my podcast. It's been too long to not have her on my podcast. So Monique, how are you?
I'm feeling blessed and grateful, and I'm ready for this.
Let's do this. All right, Monique. So what got you into boxing to begin with?
Do you want to hold it?
Hold the mic. Hold the mic. It's your time.
A breakup.
A breakup?
A breakup, yeah.
Damn, like I gotta release the stress.
A really bad breakup, and yeah, before I like really got into boxing, if something would happen in my life where it would like really shake me, I would like turn to partying and like that whole vibe. Yeah. And it just wasn't fitting with me anymore. Yeah. And I found boxing and I was like, oh my God, like I need to do this. This is like something that it like invigorated me. It felt like therapy,
yeah. It definitely is therapy.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I started boxing and it was just such a great release. And I was like, whoa, this is like, I want to keep doing this. I didn't have any plans for anything. It was just like, I knew that this is the lane I wanted to stay in.
So how long have you been boxing for?
So I've been boxing now for 7 years.
Damn.
7 years, yeah.
And what made you, like after that breakup, what made you really decide, oh, I'm gonna start my own thing, I'm gonna start my own business? Were you a personal trainer before, or how did that happen?
No, I was not a personal trainer. I started boxing, and I was at the gym that I was actually working out in. It was like a circuit-based boxing, kickboxing, 30-minute workout, gotcha. Like very like high energy. And I was like, yeah, kickboxing, just like very like I said, high energy stuff. And I was like, I just want to learn how to hold mitts, right? And so I talked to the owner of that gym. She was like, yeah, like let's, put me through a little training course, and yeah, I was hired. And so I just started learning and just started becoming even more obsessed with that, with really like learning how to do things. Yeah. So as I was learning how to box, I was also like learning how to teach, because I was really like taking in what I was learning, Mm-hmm. And so fast forward, I guess slowly I started getting my own clients. I still have my very first client that trained with me ever.
Shout out to the OG.
Yeah, that's Lila. That's my girl Lila. She's still with me and, has stuck by me through, the ups and downs and the trials. And I'm like, girl, I've been teaching this wrong. Like we got to rework this. And so,
we gotta go back to square one.
Yeah, bless her for sticking with me for so long. And but yeah, so started to gradually pick up more clients. Personal training, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And it was always with boxing though, not like so much the strength and conditioning fitness type. And so just started really learning from there, and little by little started kind of putting people together, forming classes. I was actually training kids for a little bit, which was really fun, which I would like to get back to, down the line in the near future. But yeah, I started stepping into training women, and I was like, oh no, this feels good. Like I felt like I was like healing a part of my 20-something-year-old self, which is, a lot of the women that I do train are anywhere from 20, or that we train really, are anywhere from 20 to even like 60. So
we have the mama mijas, the teenage mijas, the 20-something-year-old mijas. We need the baby mijas now.
We do, the mijitas.
The mijitas.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like honestly, maybe my own like self-gratification is like I feel like I'm healing parts of my own, the past versions of myself.
Okay.
So I'm really excited to train little girls too, and the mijitas, like getting some badass little,
hell fucking yeah.
How cool is that gonna be?
Amazing.
I'm so excited for that.
So then what was like the trigger where I was like, I'm gonna quit whatever I was doing, whatever I was working. I don't know what you were doing before at 9 to 5, but tell me what was like that moment where you're like, nah, I'm gonna do my own thing and fuck everything else.
Yeah, I was working at a photography studio in Culver
Okay.
City, and photography's cool, but it's never anywhere near my passion.
Yeah.
Never felt connected to it in any way. So it was just it happened one day where I was like,
So what had happened?
what happened was, it happened one day. I walked into work and I was like, I talked to one of my coworkers. I don't think he's still there, but we were walking down the hall and I'm like, dude, like, what are we still doing here? It was like, I was 5 years working as, a front desk manager and the front of house manager, which was great, but it wasn't taking me personally anywhere,
It wasn't filling your soul. It wasn't filling your
Yeah, I was like so frustrated all the time, and I'm like, for what? But yeah, so I was like walking down the hall, and I'm like, what are we still doing here? And he's like, I don't know. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go quit. And he's like, no, you're not.
You know what? I'll be right back.
He like started laughing, and I was like, no. I was like, actually, I am. So I went to go talk to my boss at the time, and I was like, hey, I'm putting in my 2 weeks, and she's like, oh, okay, like, all right, let's do it. Yeah, she's like, okay. So I was there for 5 years.
5 years is a long time. That's half a decade.
Literally. And I had gone into this job thinking like, okay, I'm gonna be there for like a year max. I was in a transitional period in my life, so I was like, okay, yeah, like, just this is gonna help me reset, figure out what I want to do. No, I got stuck, and a lot of that stuckness was in that relationship that I was in. Like, that's all I could like hyper focus on too. So once like I broke out of that, things started to like really shift and move, and from there,
the ball was moving.
Yeah, but I will say, like, it wasn't just that one day where I was like, yes, I'm gonna do it. Like, it was a lot of like sleepless nights of like knowing that this is what I'm being called to do, but like fighting it so hard, And so I think once I finally got to that one day in, what was that, like October, so yeah, somewhere near October of 2020. I was just like, once it came to that day, I was like, oh, it's time. This is it. Like, I'm so done here. I'm so ready to just figure out what the next version of myself looks like.
So when did you found Mija Fitness?
So technically, Mija Fitness was established in 2021.
Okay.
So October 4th is actually the day that was my last day at my other job.
Gotcha.
And so
when is the Mija birthday?
Mija is oh, that's a good question.
Girl, you gotta know your anniversary. This is an important date.
It's in March.
It's a moment. It's a milestone.
You are so right.
It's in March 2021. We're gonna say that.
Yeah, it's March 2021. The exact date I'll get back to you. Yeah, it is.
Okay, so what do you think was the hardest obstacle during the process of building your business, your brand of Mija Fitness?
Honestly, the biggest obstacle was getting past my own blocks.
Yeah.
Still working on that. But yeah. I grew up in a very structured, upbringing, I guess. Yeah. Home, and like very strict, and
Latinos.
Yeah. Right. Very strict household, and so everything was very structured. A lot of things were kind of like mapped out for me almost, like for me personally, I was never like the fighter type where I'd like stand up for myself in certain situations, especially with my parents. So a lot of times I was just like, okay, like this is what they want, like let me just do it. To make them happy, right? Like not truly understanding what I wanted, not even giving myself the space to know that I wanted something different, you know? So yeah, like the hardest part I'd say was getting through that and being able to like believe in myself, believe in my own decisions, that my decisions are good decisions, and if they're bad decisions, then I'll face the repercussions, and I'll, like it's one of the biggest lessons that I've been learning is like mistakes are so necessary.
They are vital. You cannot move forward without falling first. You don't know what's wrong. Like you don't know how to make something right without falling first. Fall forward.
Exactly. And so growing up, I was always told, don't make mistakes, don't fail, don't do this, don't do this. And so I'm like, oh my God, like if I mess up, then that's the end of the world, But it really, like, it isn't. Like my biggest mess ups have been the biggest lessons for me. And I'm like, damn, like it kind of makes me excited to mess up, because it's like, well, then I got to figure out.
You got to bounce back.
You got to bounce back, you know, and that's just the shit that makes you stronger. In my
Hell
opinion.
fucking yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What motivates you every day to keep going?
Great question. Honestly, like, I say this a lot, but the women that we train.
Yeah.
Feeling like I'm making an impact. This is about them at the end of the day, you know, and that's in the moments where I've been like, oh, this is not going to work. Like, I am not making any money right now. It's like, whoa, but what is this actually about?
Yeah.
You know, like, yes, of course you need the money to fund what we're doing here.
Right.
And like, that's just an energy at the end of the day. It's like, it's the women that we're making an actual impact on. The women that I really feel are benefiting from the space that has been created.
Yep.
You know, so that honestly, it's the women that keep me going for sure.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I definitely have learned a lot training our Mijas, because I've been an athlete my whole life, super competitive, definitely structured beginning. So like, you know, teaching these women who've never like even worked out or have ever thought boxing was for them, like just watching them become more confident in themselves and like just stronger, badass women is just so cool. And it's given me a different perspective on boxing because I started with like people who are actually going to be pros or whatever. So it took the competitiveness out and just showed me like patience, communication, and community. It's really been awesome to go on this journey with you. And yeah, it's ironic that you weren't a fighter and now here you are teaching bitches how to fight. It's
know,
crazy.
right?
It's crazy. How life works that way. Anyway, last question. Where do you see the Mijas moving? What's the next move for the Mijas?
Yeah, next big move is getting an actual like leased gym space.
Okay.
Where
That's big.
Yeah,
That's big.
it is. And you know, the balls are rolling, you know, working on getting more capital, more funding. And yeah, that's going to be happening. And I have like this.
It is happening.
Yeah.
It's out there in the universe.
it's
She's
happening.
gonna have a Mija gym and it's gonna be lit. So all those ladies out there who wanna try boxing, it's your girl.
Let's do it.
And that's all we got on this episode of MoMo on the Move. Thank you so much for hopping on.
Thank you for having me.